4:30 to 7. This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Good evening, I'm Nicole Griffin. Tonight, Metro Police have a new homicide investigation on their hands. A man shot and killed earlier today at a West Side apartment. Meanwhile, homicide arrests remain difficult to achieve in Indianapolis. So far this year, IMPD has made arrests in just under 30% of criminal homicide cases. RTV6 reporter Graham Hunter is taking a closer look.
I can say we appreciate them. Our family appreciate the police department.
Keisha Smith understands police are working hard to make an arrest in the murder of her niece, Kaylin Cole.
It's been 2 years. It made 2 years that Kaylin was murdered.
But still no arrests. Those can be tough to come by. An IMPD report this week details 143 homicides so far this year, compared with 159 all of 2018. 15 this year were cleared as self-defense. IMPD has made arrests in 38 cases so far. That's an arrest rate of 29.9%.
We want him brought to justice.
The family of Kaylin Cole wants to know why an arrest hasn't been made in 2 years in her case, when detectives say they know who her killer is. But they say it's a matter of finding the right evidence to ensure a conviction is made.
We do not have any information as far as the shooter.
There will soon be another family trying to answer hard questions. A man was found dead after a reported shooting on the West Side Sunday afternoon.
As far as where the shooting exactly took place, isn't immediately apparent. And that's something that the detectives will continue to work on to find out.
The shooting happened at the Wildwood Village Apartments off Guyan Road and 30th Street. Police responded to a shots fired call there last month.
We want our family to have peace.
A feeling more families are likely to experience as the homicide count continues to grow. Working for you from the West Side, Graham Hunter, RTV6.
The clouds rolled into central Indiana this afternoon, and that kept temperatures on this cool stretch. We made it to 45 degrees. That average high is 52, so our 7th day in a row below average, but there is a warm-up on the way. We're still going to have to be patient, though, a couple more days. Temperatures right now, they're holding in the 30s, even 38 degrees in Connersville, 36 in downtown, and Lafayette at 37. As we've got some clouds out there, some breaks, but mostly cloudy skies doing it. As we look back to the west, this complex of rain over Illinois is shrinking in coverage, kind of what was expected because there's just not a whole lot of moisture for it to work with. So possibly an isolated shower, and as temperatures dip a little bit, maybe a couple of snowflakes, but you can see there on TrueCast really not painting a whole lot as we go into tomorrow morning. And that's great news as you get ready to head out the door Monday. You're not going to have to deal with much in the way of any precipitation out there. We'll have mostly cloudy skies and those temperatures settling into the lower 30s as we get things started. Our next impactful weather, that's going to roll in on Tuesday with some scattered showers for some of us, and then a little more widespread rain coming our way on Thursday with a bit of a warm-up. We'll detail those coming up in just a few minutes.
Kyle, thank you. The loss of a Fishers K-9 officer killed in the line of duty has hit the community hard. But police officials say scammers may try to take advantage of that collective grief. They say beware of people reaching out for donations on behalf of the department in honor of K-9 officer Harley. If someone comes to your door or calls you out of the blue, be cautious. The department says it will only take donations through its website. No phone calls, no door-to-door visits. Harley was shot and killed early Wednesday morning while assisting with a manhunt. Tonight, families from 4 different apartments are displaced after a fire in Lawrence this afternoon. Firefighters with Lawrence and Indianapolis Fire were called out to the Mason Gardens apartment complex near 42nd and Post Road around 12:15. Crews were able to quickly put the fire out and no one was injured, but tonight they are now trying to determine what caused the fire. You may remember this is the same apartment complex where a large fire left 3 firefighters injured last month. The apartment complex is helping the families who are impacted after today's fire. More than 12,000 teachers and educators will be at the State House Tuesday rallying for better education laws. Across the state, more than 130 school districts have canceled classes or are having an e-learning day Tuesday. RTV6 is working for you, finding out what options parents have for childcare on Tuesday. The YMCA is holding day camps across the city in support of teachers at 8 different locations. Day camp coordinators keep track of school schedules in their area and provide provide camp whenever there is a planned day off.
And then anytime that there's inclement weather, like a snow day or something unexpected, like the Red for Ed rally coming up on the 19th, we'll have camp for families on those days. A lot of families really love that we offer this. It just provides them peace of mind to know that when something unexpected happens, we'll be there to take over for them and help them out.
We have a full list of YMCA camp locations on Red for Ed Day right now on the RTV6 News app. They are not held at every YMCA location. Some are held at local schools, so make sure to check that list before Tuesday. Camp is only for kids ages 5 through 12. And the Boys and Girls Club of Indianapolis is also opening clubs during school hours on Red for Ed Action Day. 5 clubs will open, including the Finish Line Boys and Girls Club, Keenan Stall Boys and Girls Club, and the Lily Boys and Girls Club. They will each be open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Snacks and meals will be provided at all 5 locations. This week, the community will be able to continue supporting a Plainfield family as their 12-year-old son takes on one of the biggest battles of his life. We told you about Jack Moon, a Plainfield student who is battling type B non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. The Plainfield Police Department is selling window clings all month long to help with his medical expenses. But this Wednesday, there is another chance to help while also getting a sweet treat. Jack's Donuts in Plainfield on Stafford Road has agreed to donate 10% of all sales Wednesday. Plainfield police officers will be on site selling those window clings, t-shirts, and bracelets. The fundraiser runs from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. A vote set for Monday at the next Franklin City Council meeting could pave the way for hundreds of new jobs in that community. We first told you last week battery company Energizer wants to open a distribution center near State Road 44 and I-65. They would move into a large building that already exists to package batteries and distribute most Energizer products. More than 400 workers would be hired by 2022. The City Council meets Monday night to vote on approving a tax break that would allow the plan to move forward. Happening tomorrow, a U.S. Navy warship will be named in honor of late Indiana Senator Richard Lugar. The Navy Secretary and members of the Lugar family will attend a private naming ceremony Monday at the Indiana War Memorial. Senators Todd Young and Mike Braun introduced an amendment in June for the naming. The USS Richard G. Lugar will be a guided missile destroyer. Lugar died in April at the age of 87. He volunteered for the Navy and served his country as an officer from 1957 to 1960. At least 8 witnesses are scheduled to testify in the second week of open hearings in the impeachment inquiry, including members of the vice president's staff. But all eyes this week are likely to be on Wednesday's testimony from EU Ambassador Gordon Sondland. He's already revised his testimony one time. Here's ABC's Kenneth Moten.
As the House impeachment inquiry prepares for 3 more days of public hearings this week, Democrats are not wavering.
The President of the United States used taxpayer-funded military assistance to pressure a foreign leader to help him in his re-election campaign.
Republicans are pushing back.
The evidence is crumbling. I think the Democrats know they're in trouble on this.
Over the weekend, the committee releasing transcripts of the closed-door testimony from Jennifer Williams, a member of Vice President Pence's staff. Williams was on that July 25th phone call in which Trump brought up investigating the Bidens in the 2016 election. She testifies she remembers the mention of Burisma, the Ukrainian energy company where Hunter Biden served on the board. But the transcript of the call released by the White House makes no mention of Burisma. The president blasting Williams on Sunday, tweeting, "Tell Jennifer Williams, whoever that is, to read both transcripts of the presidential calls. She should meet with the other Never-Trumpers, who I don't know and mostly never even heard of, and work out a better presidential attack." That tweet coming just days after Trump attacked former Ambassador Marie Yovanovitch as she was testifying.
I think part of it is his own insecurity as an imposter. I think he knows full well that he's in that office way over his head, and so he has to diminish everyone else.
She used the word imposter, talking about the President of the United States, who 63 million people voted for.
But House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on CBS saying the president will have every opportunity to present his case. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, New York.
Kenneth, thank you. Coming up, lowering drug costs is a priority most Americans can get behind. How those costs are forcing families to make tough decisions. You may have heard of those secret sister gift exchanges. The Better Business Bureau wants to make sure you know the real deal before you find yourself the victim of a scam. Kyle.
And we've got a few rain chances coming our way this week. By the time we get to Friday morning, could see about a third to a half inch of wet weather here in central Indiana. I'll let you know when most of that will fall. You're watching RTV6 News at 11.
For less at Ross. Yes, for less.
This is RTV6 News at 11, working for you.
Prescription drug prices are a top election issue. Voters from both parties agree that lowering prices should be a top priority for lawmakers. Chloe Nordquist found out skyrocketing costs for life-saving drugs can lead to tough choices.
When I was diagnosed in 1972, insulin cost about $1 a bottle.
Because there I am with a bottle of insulin and a syringe.
The price tag now, about $350. Insulin helps diabetics manage their blood sugar.
So this is my current blood sugar.
My name is Gail DeVore. I have had type 1 diabetes for almost 48 years.
Her childhood doctor told her she wouldn't live past 40. She recently turned 59. Diabetics often have to buy multiple bottles of insulin at a time. For someone with a high deductible prescription plan, that comes right out of their pocket.
To afford that, which just happens to be more than my own mortgage, it's unreachable for some families.
The CDC estimates around 30 million people in America have diabetes, almost 10% of the population. The national price of insulin increased from around $340 in 2012 to $666 in 2016.
It's the most expensive part of our lives. My name's Michelle Fenner.
Her 17-year-old son was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes 9 years ago.
It impacts our ability to save for retirement. We've had to pull money out of savings.
Insulin isn't the only medication with a rising price tag. Michelle was diagnosed with an autoimmune disease just a year ago. Her medication alone can cost over $2,000 a month.
As I'm trying to keep my son alive and pay for all his costs, am I going to be able to afford my medication?
Overall, drug prices have continued to increase. My name is Gina Moore. I'm currently the president of Colorado Pharmacist Society. We're all touched personally by the cost of medications. My husband, as an example, was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease a couple months ago.
Individual spending on prescription medication increased from around $251 billion in 2012 to $341 billion in 2016.
It's not necessarily a new problem, but it's really one that has been magnified over the course of the last decade.
Income for pharmacies from retail prescription drugs went up from nearly $31 billion in 2012 to $77 billion in 2016.
Don't hesitate to ask your pharmacist if they know of less expensive alternatives.
But for diabetics, there are no alternative drugs.
It's the simple little tiny hormone that every body should make. And without it, we die.
How can you plan your life when you literally have no idea how much something is going to cost?
I'm Chloe Nordquist.
Chloe, thank you. Tonight, the Better Business Bureau is warning against secret sister gift exchanges, saying they are illegal pyramid schemes. It starts with an email or social media invitation. People are asked to buy and mail a modest gift to a stranger and told they will get a certain number of gifts in return. They're also encouraged to invite other people to the gift exchange, but the Better Business Bureau says the scam relies on recruiting people to keep it afloat. And once people stop participating in the gift exchange, the gift supply stops as well. This leaves hundreds of disappointed people without their promised gifts. The BBB says save yourself the trouble and simply ignore invitations to secret sister exchanges. Nike is stepping out on Amazon. They will no longer sell their products directly to the site. They started doing so in 2017 as part of a pilot program. Nike hoped it would combat counterfeits sold through third-party sellers, but they've discovered those vendors will just reemerge under new names when they're shut down. Now Nike will focus on directing online sales through its own website. Today, shoppers at the Indiana State Fairgrounds spent the day helping an organization that impacts the lives of children and families in our community. The 2019 Junior League Holiday Mart is wrapping up at the State Fairgrounds today. It's the signature fundraiser hosted every year by the Junior League of Indianapolis, a group for women that promotes volunteerism and leadership training. Over the years, Junior League has helped with more than 163 community projects through volunteer work and have donated or granted $4 million to the community. Holiday Mart is a multi-day holiday shopping event, and this year marks the 49th year for the annual event.
The thing that makes our show different than other shows is that we are shopping for a cause. So all of the money that is raised from ticket sales here at the Mart goes back into the Indianapolis community.
Last year, Junior League gave $150,000 in grants back to Central Indiana from the Holiday Mart. Next year is the 50th year for the annual event. And Kyle, not a bad day to kind of be inside shopping because it was definitely a little chilly outside.
A little bit cool, yeah, and we're ramping up here getting into that holiday season, so more and more of you are probably going to be heading out there and doing a little bit of shopping, and going to do that in layers here, as we're still going to need that coat the next couple of days. There is a little bit of a warm-up coming our way. Right now it's 36 degrees. We've got a light south wind, less than 10 miles per hour, and we've got that cloud cover around. There's that band of very light showers into eastern Illinois. May get a couple of showers making their way into central Indiana here during the overnight and early tomorrow morning. Our temperature, though, not going to move a whole lot because of the cloud cover and that light south wind. 33 will be the overnight temperature. Here's TrueCast. 7 a.m. shows a little ribbon of some of those light rain showers, possibly mixed with a few snowflakes. It is not going to be a big impact for us here. Most areas are not going to see any precipitation. What we are going to see is a lot of cloud cover here. Really not going to need the sunglasses as we go throughout our Monday. We'll kind of stay socked into those clouds, a few breaks here and there, but that will also keep those temperatures from really moving a whole lot. We're still in the upper 30s at 10 a.m. Lunch hour, lower 40s, and we'll have a light west wind as temperatures make their way into the lower 40s. 41 for you in Kokomo, stuck in the 30s around Logansport at 39, 42 in Petersburg and Frankfort at 40 degrees. Again, the average high this time of year is in the lower 50s, so we're talking about numbers about 10 degrees cooler than they should be. Rockville, 43, Noblesville at 42, and Shelbyville, a pair of 4s. And you can see 44 pretty popular here as we get to Bedford, Seymour, and Columbus. On Tuesday, we are going to see a chance for a few light showers moving through the area, more cloud cover, and temperatures again only making their way into the middle 40s. And the models that have been coming in this evening continuing to kind of beef up the system a little bit. It's still going to be minor, but I've raised those rain chances on Tuesday to about 30%. You can see this is 6:30 in the morning. A little bit of pink on there, possibly starting as a brief wintry mix, but then we'll have some light rain showers moving through. Again, that one not going to be too big of a deal for us, but if you've been looking for some time to get out there where it's going to warm up and have some dry weather to go along with it and get those lights up, Wednesday is going to be your day to do it. That's where we've got our high of 54. We're still mild on Thursday, but that's when the rain moves in. 7-day planning forecast. There we go. Things are fairly quiet through Wednesday outside of that small system on Tuesday morning. Then rain fairly widespread on Thursday brings in some colder air for the end of the week and next weekend.
54 and dry on Wednesday. That'll be nice.
Pick of the week. Enjoy it.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, your Indianapolis Colts are in a pretty competitive spot right now after their win today against the Jaguars. Highlights from Lucas Oil Stadium when we come back. Colts fans are celebrating tonight. The team now back in the win column after beating the Jacksonville Jaguars in front of the home crowd at Lucas Oil Stadium. Sports director Dave First is at the stadium with a recap from the big win.
Well, this was like old-fashioned Colts football, that whenever times get tough, you play the Jacksonville Jaguars or really anybody in the AFC South, and you feel pretty good about it. Exactly what the doctor ordered here. After losing the last two, they get Jacksonville and win this one 33-13. and did it, well, the way they kind of began 2019 with running the ball. Running back Marlon Mack had 83 yards in the first half, including this two-spin, 13-yard touchdown that tied the game at 7. Defensively, Kenny Moore stepping up with really his best effort of the season, a sack and a huge breakup on third down in the second quarter. One of a couple 3-and-outs for Jacksonville in the first half. Jacoby Brissett with some really good play in the third quarter. Found Marcus Johnson in the end zone on a 4th down play. And then the next drive in the third quarter, scrambles in for a 5-yard score. Again, old-fashioned Colts football in the AFC South as the good guys win 33-13.
Man, it's big overall. Getting that confidence back in us, actually going out there doing it. It just helped the confidence of us overall and just going back there and running the ball. It's good.
Not one, but 2 spins on that touchdown?
Man, Rob helps us every day with that, man. So we practice it every day, and I just had to put it to use right there.
Just how hard was that ball that Brissett threw to you in the end zone?
That was a rib shot. That was a rib shot now. But I was prepared for it. One thing that we always joke about with Brissett is his mechanics are so good, and the ball is always a perfect spiral, and it gets up on you quick.
How badly did you guys need this today?
We need everyone we can get right now. We fighting every week, want to know. That's our motto. That's what we've been going by each week. So, man, we really don't have no pressure now like that. We want to go out there and play our game, play our way. So, we definitely need this one, though, for sure.
Now, the highlight of the game, which in the end really wasn't, it was the keg stand celebration by offensive lineman Quentin Nelson after he ran in a 1-yard touchdown. Now, the TD was reversed upon further review, but the memory of that celebration, well, it'll last forever.
Just a lot of deep reflecting, like, man, I wish I had that play back and just like got lower or moved my feet more to get in and pushed in. But, we executed the celebration. That's what I'm really happy about.
A couple more takeaways from this game. How about the running game? Mack finished with 109 rushing yards. Jonathan Williams with 116 rushing yards. First time in a long, long time this franchise has had 2 100-yard rushers. All told, best running game for this franchise in 13 years. Adam Vinatieri, perfect. 1 field goal, 4 PATs. And by the way, Houston lost today. So both teams are now tied for first place in the AFC South, and both teams play each other Thursday night in Houston. At the stadium, Dave First, RTV6 Sports.
All right, Dave, thank you. Well, looks like Hoosiers really like the odds when it comes to sports betting. The Indiana Gaming Commission says the second month of legal sports betting in Indiana saw nearly $92 million in wagers. That's almost 3 times as much money wagered in September when sports betting became legal. Football accounted for the most betting on an individual sport at more than $41 million. The state also brought in nearly $1 million in tax revenue last month. Kyle's back after this break with the final check of your forecast. Stay with us. Today, more than a dozen students from Speedway High School were outside, not only getting some good exercise, but also helping the environment. Today is National Take a Hike Day. We met up with about 15 students from Speedway High School at Fort Harrison State Park. While hiking, they also spent time picking up trash and cleaning up the Camp Creek Trail. A leader with the students says this is a great way for kids to get out of the house, off their phones, and see what nature has to offer.
I know for me it's an exercise. It's cathartic. It makes me feel better after I walk in the woods. I think it's important to have a balanced lifestyle, not just be on your screen the whole time, but see the whole world in front of us. So this is a good way to do that.
And Kyle, I know this group was happy with those 40-degree temperatures today. They said it wasn't too bad for this hike.
Yeah, and it's too bad we got kind of shortchanged on our fall color there with all the cold. It just kind of zapped those leaves on the trees. And we'll stay cool here the next couple of days. Chance for a few showers on Tuesday. Better chance for rain on Thursday, but it's going to be warmer in the 50s.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Have a great night.